This is DanDaDan, one of the most colorful anime I have ever seen. From the first opening to the last episode, everything looks insane and completely different from almost every other anime. The crazy part is that none of this was random. It was carefully crafted by a team of color experts. So today, I'm gonna show you the 3 things these people did completely differently from other anime out there, and how they used color to create one of the coolest looking anime in years. The first thing they did was make the colors as insane as the series. Nowadays, a lot of manga have, very serious stories, which is why the colors can be pretty simple or just really dark. But here's the thing, DanDaDan is genuinely one of the weirdest, most unhinged stories of all time, so the vibe is very different. Basically, it's about this group of teenagers who somehow get supernatural powers from a bunch of spirits and then have to fight aliens who are trying to destroy them. Yeah, so before the animation team even started working on the anime, they had to make sure that they would perfectly capture the absolutely insane vibe of the manga. To pull that off, they had to nail 2 things: the spirits and the aliens. Check this out. In the first episode, the main character goes into this scary tunnel to find a spirit called Turbo Granny. It starts as just this normal kind of creepy place, but as soon as he finds Turbo Granny, the entire place completely changes and suddenly becomes red. This makes the whole thing even scarier. On purpose. You see, the director of the anime said that they used warm colors like red to show that ghosts and spirits were once actual human beings. Human beings who still have these intense emotions like anger, pain, or love. Like Turbo Granny with red, or this giant crab spirit with red as well, or even this scary lady spirit with pink. Okay, but what about the aliens? Here's the thing. While Okarun is dealing with Turbo Granny, the other main character, Momo, gets taken by literal aliens. And as soon as we're in their, spaceship, everything becomes blue. This is the complete opposite of the spirits. Everything gets covered in this disturbing blue glow that immediately makes you feel totally uncomfortable. Alien characters get cold colors that emphasize they're basically emotionless machines. And these colors create an atmosphere that just doesn't feel quite right. Quite human. The series basically uses these cold colors every single time there's some kind of alien technology. Like these small boxes that can literally turn into anything. Warm colors make us think of fire, love, and passion. They feel human, while cool colors feel distant, alien, and, cold. This battle of warm against cool can be really obvious sometimes, like when characters are fighting, this giant crab, for example. But other times, it can be way more subtle. For example, there's this scene where the characters are doing something super silly that would generally take me way too long to explain, but suddenly they get attacked by the acro silky spirit, and the entire scene becomes pink. While they're fighting, the spirit keeps telling the characters that she loves them and basically talking to them as if she was their mother or something, which is kind of weird, and you don't really understand what's going on with her. But then we see flashbacks of her human past. The colors become way more simple, and we discover that she used to be this loving mother and an extremely talented dancer. She worked several jobs, went through the worst experiences, all so she could take care of her daughter. Because of some horrible events, she couldn't stay with her daughter. And in the tragic final moments of this flashback, one of the most beautiful sequences of this anime, we see her dancing as the color changes to a gentle blue. This change is so small, but it has such an insane impact. It makes the conclusion of the story feel way more devastating. Despite the pink monster we saw, those blue memories remind us of all her pain. This is genuinely one of the scenes that people love the most in this series. And I totally get it. It's a masterclass in using colors. And that actually brings me to my next point. DanDaDan knows how to make you feel scared or sad or whatever with these colors. But it's also an anime about action. And trust me, they went absolutely crazy with colors during action. The truth is, there was one big difference between season 1 and season 2. And that difference was that man. Abel Gongora is a dude who worked on the opening of Keep Your Hands Off Aisuken. He worked on an episode of Star Wars Visions. He worked on Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. He directed the incredible opening for season 1. And so much more. So yeah, this guy knows how to use colors. To show you exactly what I mean, here are 2 fights. One from season 1 and another from season 2. And the thing that these two fights have in common is that they both use black and white colors to do something really cool. Basically, if I draw something and everything is the same color, so like black and white, then as soon as I put even a tiny bit of color, that's like the first thing you're going to see. It's kind of where your eyes are going to go immediately. So during the fight from season 1, the entire scene is completely black, white, and gray, except for Okarun's red aura. And that's also when we see his transformation for the very first time. This makes the entire moment so much cooler because of how his red power contrasts with everything around him. Okay, but now in season 2, there's a similar fight between Okarun and these floating bubblehead musicians. Don't ask me. But this time, they take this idea even further with one of the most visually awesome moments in the entire series. As the characters fight these guys, the entire environment has no colors, except for specific details that suddenly pop with color. The musicians' costumes, the hair, and most importantly, all of their attacks and special abilities. As the scene progresses and our characters start getting stronger and stronger, more color slowly begins to creep into the fight. And by the end of the battle, there is just so much more color in the scene, which is so beautiful and hype. But what happens when there's too much color? And in this situation, don't you worry, because they got you. And that's because they also use a technique called color division. In season 2, we meet this new character called the Evil Eye, and his signature color is purple. There's a fight between him and Okarun, and my man gets absolutely bamboozled. I mean, he is nowhere near the level of the Evil Eye. And so what the DanDaDan team does to show us this massive difference is pretty cool. They basically just make the entire scene completely purple, while Okarun's red is there, but you don't really see much of it. Here's where it gets really cool. Throughout the episodes, Okarun actually gets stronger, and you can see this awesome visual change where the main color gradually goes from total purple to red, until it finally becomes completely red when Okarun defeats the Evil Eye. This isn't just pretty, it's visual storytelling, baby! In this absolute chaos where stuff is flying everywhere, the colors let you instantly understand who's winning. On top of that, they also use these color trails to show movements and attacks, and that makes pretty complicated actions really easy to follow. When Okarun moves at super speed, his red energy creates this line that helps you track his speed. Or when Momo uses her attacks, you can see them through these massive psychic green hands, I guess. The colors become an actual part of the choreography itself, not just a pretty thing that they just randomly added on there. This is even cooler when you realize that each major villain and character gets their own signature color. The Evil Eye has purple, the giant earthworm has yellow, Acro Silky has pink, the crab thing has red, and the freaking Loch Ness monster has green, and so much more. Each character brings their own visual thing to each battle, and that makes every single one of these fights feel visually unique and beautiful instead of some generic action sequence. Trust me, right now, if you told me, hey, remember this fight from DanDaDan or whatever, I would probably immediately know what fight you're talking about just because of the way it looks. And weirdly enough, that brings me to the most underrated way DanDaDan uses color, which is something that's actually really hard to see. This series is about supernatural stuff, yes, but it's also a coming-of-age romance story about a bunch of awkward teenagers. A lot of the time, DanDaDan's colors are mega vibrant. But for everyday moments, the team made a very creative choice. They decided to make things look way more basic by using this old movie, old school aesthetic. Basically, this is how a color looks when it's really saturated, and this is how it looks when it's desaturated, which is what they went for. And these desaturated colors give you a feeling of older Japanese films and pop culture, which creates this really nostalgic and cozy vibe. Check this out. Normal everyday world, schools, homes, streets, all the regular places these characters hang out. The colors they use in these places are carefully selected to trigger a very specific emotion. Pure freaking nostalgia. These colors make you feel that these moments are special because you know they won't last forever. For example, Momo's home gets colored in these warm, comforting tones, soft yellows and gentle browns that make the entire space feel like a safe space away from all the freaking chaos in this series. It's a space where she can be with her friends and grandma and generally just chill. There's this whole arc in season 2 where they go to hot springs, and the director basically said that they tried making the visuals look like a Kadokawa film. And these movies have this very specific look from like the 70s and the 80s. They were basically famous for their beautiful cinematography that looked very dreamy. All of these gentle colors throughout the series work so perfectly because they look so different from the strong colors you see during the big supernatural moments. You could be watching the most chill scene possible where the characters are just doing something completely random when bam, the colors become big, vibrant, and saturated again, and you know something crazy is about to happen. It's genius. Your brain kind of learns how to connect these visuals with specific enemies and threats. The people making this anime use this trick to enhance every single scene's emotional impact. What separates DanDaDan from other anime is how its colors work as kind of a language. The color team isn't just making things look visually pretty. They're using all of these things to guide you through the story and create character development in ways that work directly on your brain without you even realizing. This is the difference between expert level coloring work and something that just looks nice. It's the kind of thing that takes years to learn and requires a team of masters working together.